Hello friends, it's Greg here again on the Blue Feather Ephemera channel. I have an eBay store by the same name where I sell vintage magazine print advertising, and every week I make a video to show what's sold from the store. Now, I got a little bit behind during the month of October, so this is the second in a series of 4 makeup videos so that we can catch up and show all of those great ads that sold this month. This is also the second sales video of the fourth quarter, and this is the 41st week of 2024, and it is number 38 in the series of videos. So with all that aside, let's take a look at some great vintage print advertising. First up, we've got this rather remarkable ad from Argosy magazine. This ran in 1965, and the product is Digicomp. It's an operating binary digital tabletop computer, and it's only $5.95. Now, let's take a look at a little bit of the detail here. The seller is a company called Lion Products out of New York City. But what this is, when you look at the detail here, this is an open case binary digital computer. And by binary here, you see on the readout, it's got the ones and zeros, and that's all that digital computing is. It's basically on or off switches that equate to ones and zeros, and that's what makes computers work. So this was 1965. This was all about fun and learning and students and kids, and basically just putting them in a mindset for the information age. So it's a very historic ad. $16.77 is the price it fetched, and it's on its way to Alabama. The next ad of the week is also from the same era, the late 1960s. This one ran in American Girl 1968, and the product here is called Summer Blonde Highlight Hair Treatment. And this is a 2-page ad, and I think I said it ran in American Girl. But anyway, that's all there is to it. Basically, you put this treatment in your hair, and it lightens your hair, and it looks like the sun did it. That's all there is to this. It's a 2-page ad separated down the middle, and I just put it together for photo purposes here. It shipped to the buyer for $12.77. It's on its way to New York. The other advertisement from American Girl magazine ran in an issue 16 years earlier. That last one was 1968. Here we have 1952, American Girl magazine. This is an advertisement for Cuticura, which is a medicine for the face, pimples, blackheads, and all of that. It talks about Cuticura soap, washing twice a day, applying a Cuticura ointment at night, and then also using Cuticura liquid during the day. This is a small ad. It's only about 2.5 inches by 3 inches, and I charge $6.77 for it. It's on its way to Georgia. Here is a racy advertisement from 1965 that ran in Life magazine. The advertiser is Maidenform, and they're mostly known for their bras. And I say it's a racy ad because here's this model. She's mostly unclothed and out of doors, but it says, "I dreamed I was a classic beauty in my Maidenform bra." Now, they ran a whole series of these "I dreamed" advertisements in the 1960s, and they were shown in exotic settings. This one right here, classic beauty, refers to the classic setting from the classic era of the few centuries BC. And this lady is at the temple. It looks like the Temple of Neptune in Italy. Yeah, I'm sure that's it because I'm not that smart. It's in the fine print at the bottom of the ad. So $12.77 was the price it fetched. It's on its way to New York. I know that at the end of this advertisement review, you're going to be saying, wow. And so I'll just say it for you right now. Wow. How much history can you pack into one little piece of paper that's roughly 4 inches by 5 inches. This is an advertisement for the Weston Biscuit Company. This ran in the Quartermaster Review magazine in 1944. And this company, it says, are the manufacturers of English quality biscuits. And it goes down the list of what their products are. They make products for U.S. Army Field Ration C, Type C Rations Square, U.S. Navy Emergency Rations for life rafts and boats. They make soda crackers, graham crackers, oyster crackers, and crackets. And that word just cracked me up. Crackets. It says other Weston products include cheese crackers. I'm reading the whole thing here, and if you don't like that, I apologize. But New Yorker assortment, George Inn, that new deluxe assortment, and a fine line of English quality cookies. Now, I did a little bit of research because I had been tipped off by buyers of other Weston Biscuit advertising that Weston was one of the bakeries that was under contract by Girl Scouts of America to bake Girl Scout cookies. I Googled that and read up on it. As early as 1937, Weston was turning out Girl Scout cookies. So, a lot of history in that advertisement right there. $8.77 for this fine old ad, sent it to New York. So that last advertisement was 1944. This one, 1945, is our other World War II era ad. This one ran in the latter part of 1945 because it's talking about the world being at peace once more. So we know that it came after VE Day in May of 45 and also after the capitulation of Japan in August of 1945. This is the Shelby Cycle Company of Shelby, Ohio. In the detail here, I'm going to read the detail because it's very sweet. It says, in a world once more at peace, Christmas again becomes an occasion for joyous celebration. As we contemplate the blessings of victory and freedom at this happy holiday season, let us not forget those whose sacrifices have made peacetime Christmas a reality. To the youth of America, tomorrow's leaders of our country, season's greetings. So, real nice ad there. It's small, barely 3 inches by 3.5. I sold it for $6.77. It's on its way to Pennsylvania. Oh, and it ran in the magazine called The Open Road for Boys. Here's another advertisement for ladies' undergarments. This one from 17 Magazine, 1963. It's a full-page, full-color ad, and the advertiser is Vanity Fair. And it just shows a girl here modeling a couple of different outfits or underfits, whatever you want to call it. And in the text of the ad, it says you can feel pretty when your street clothes look nice, and you can feel pretty too when your undergarments do too. So this one sold for $16.77. It's on its way to Wisconsin. Here we've got another advertisement from that project called Keep America Beautiful. It was a member of the Ad Council. They ran all of those public service announcements back in the 1970s. This one appeared in Classic Magazine, 1976. And this is the same topic of the last Keep America Beautiful ad that we sold about a month ago. And I went into some detail about that. But what you have here is the man who portrays the Native American. He's riding his Pinto on the edge of this pond. And it says this is located in Palos Verdes Peninsula, California. It's called the South Coast Botanic Gardens. Basically, it was a trash dump that was converted to a natural area because enough people cared. And so, in the detail here, you can see this. Well, first of all, the last one I sold was a full page. This one is not quite 6 inches by about 5.5, roughly. It's a square ad. This fellow that's on the screen right now, Iron Eyes Cody, was an actor. He portrayed Indians in movies, and he was the face of this advertisement because he had a single teardrop on his cheek because he was sad about the state of the environment in America and what folks were doing to our beautiful natural areas. And so he was the face of the ad campaign. Now, a month ago, when I ran that more detailed discussion of that topic and him, I went into some detail about his biography, and I won't do that again, but I will link that video at the top of the screen if you want to go back and watch that. It really is interesting. So $10.77 was the price that this fetched. It's on its way to Missouri. And once again, our featured advertisement comes up last. That purely by accident. This time it won't always be the case, but this is the last ad that we'll be looking at. And what I love about this appeals to me for several reasons. And it's because, back in my teen years, I had friends who played the game Dungeons and Dragons. It was kind of brand new at the time, and I dabbled at that for a year or two. But they use all of these weird shaped, different faceted dice with so many different faces on them. But this puts me in mind of one of those 12-sided die, and this shape is called a dodecahedron, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. Of course, with 12 sides, it makes a perfect calendar, and that's what this one is in the advertisement that we're looking at. From 1963, this is a paperweight, and it's sold by Henry's Store of New York, and it's called a calendar weight. And you can see there it's turned to January of 1963. So here at the end of the 1962 advertising year, you can buy a desktop paperweight calendar that you don't have to flip through. It can just sit on your papers, and you want to know what the second Thursday of June is, you just pick it up and turn it over. That's kind of a neat thing, in my opinion. So the other thing that I would say about this, we'll zoom in on it just a little bit here. That's too much, ain't it? Okay, well, we'll look at it right here. This is a small ad, and it only covers about 2 inches by about 4.5. But what I was going to say about this is I first ran across something like this when I was sourcing products to sell in my other eBay store a few years ago. And when you sell vintage or antique items and you go out to estate sales or thrift stores or yard sales and you run across this stuff, you say you found it out in the wild. Well, out in the wild, I've only seen maybe about 6 of these ever. And from the late 50s up through the mid 60s, I know there was a lot of these things made that basically just got tossed or, chucked in the trash or whatever. But I think it's a neat thing. And to have run across so few of them over the years, I had one recently that it wasn't a cat. And I meant to say this. This ad is the first calendar one that I've seen. They were more commonly used as souvenirs, and it would have like the name of a state on one facet, and the other facets would tell about the various tourist attractions or sites to see in a particular state, landmarks and things like that. So I sold a Colorado souvenir dodecahedron from my other store just a few months ago. I don't have any others up for sale right now, but I just love it when I run across them. And so I was happy to be able to show this one to you. It's a small ad. I charged only $6.77 for it, and it's on its way to Maine. Here we are at the weekly recap screen already. That's right, we sold only 9 ads during the week, and the total of the sales was $98.93. This is for week 41. Now, just for a frame of reference, the actual dates of week 41, I mentioned in the last video, I'm catching up. So this video is behind by about 3 weeks. The dates for that week are October the 2nd through October the 8th. Both of those are kind of standout dates for me because October the 2nd, I've got a brother born on that day. And then October the 8th, if my sweet mother was still with us, she would have turned 88 on that day. But she passed away back in 1995. So anyway, 9 ads sold from 8 different magazine titles. The only title to rack up multiple sales was American Girl, the magazine of the Girl Scouts of America. That's what you see on screen right here. I'm not at all disappointed with those sales. Like I mentioned in the last video that dropped, I had to take some time away from the YouTube channel. I'm happy to be back, and I appreciate all the kind comments and messages that you've sent on that last video to let you know that you missed the content on the channel and that you missed me. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. But I also took a little bit of time away from the eBay store as well, where I typically try to list anywhere from 40 to 50 ads per day. During that week, I know I was only listing somewhere between 5 and 10 ads a day on average. And also, I was not attending to the end and sell similar process on the eBay listings that I have been in recent months. So I'm quite certain that that lack has probably accounted for some of the drop-in sales for that week. More recent weeks have been better, and you'll see that in the couple of upcoming videos. I'm excited to bring those to you just as quick as I can, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate you watching, tuning in. I always love hearing from you. Thank you for the comments that I've got on the last video that dropped. It lets me know that y'all are still with me, still interested in watching, and that you missed me when I was gone. Thank you for that. Hope you tune in again next week when we'll talk about something else. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, there's several simple ways that you can support the channel. First of all, hit the like button. It just takes a moment. Second, if you have friends that you think would enjoy the content, go down below and send them a link to the channel. Also, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, even if it's just a friendly hello. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and turn on notifications. It's that simple. Thanks again for watching.